Stephen Warnock has made the trip across the pond to be with us this week. Robbie Mustoe and myself, Cara Banks. It really is a dream season, Musty. It's continuing. You look at what they did the last two seasons, Nottingham Forest, narrowly avoiding relegation both times. It's kind of a fairy tale, isn't it? How shocked are you to see this story unfold?
Incredibly shocked. This is amazing, based on last year and the points deduction and avoiding relegation and having to go again and finding a team with a big squad of players that's producing this sort of football. It's very simple football. It's kind of a poster boy, right, really, of keeping things very, very simple in terms of tactics. Counter-attacking is obviously how they're doing this. Strong defensively, very quick wide players, a little bit of creativity in midfield, and a guy up front who's, if you give him plenty of service, he's going to score goals. It's a little bit reminiscent of Leicester City in 2016. Now, I'm not sure we can go the whole way with that, but we didn't believe Leicester could win it in 2016. I said it many times on this show. Well, they can't, they can't go all the way. I'm not saying Forest will do that, but if they beat Liverpool at the City Ground today, then we got to take them as a serious title challenger.
So do you believe if the win today would give you the belief that they could be a title contender?
I think they'll be a contender if they win this game and they're 3 points behind. You can't write them off, Cara. You just can't. And it's very easy to say, this reason, that reason. We're halfway through. And they've got players in certain spots. They're doing the business against all the big boys. And it's very efficient. It's very hard to play against. And great counter-attacking football is really hard to stop.
I suppose the thing is, Stephen, and Nuno has been very good at saying this, we can't get ahead of ourselves, we're only just over halfway through the season, we haven't achieved anything just yet. I mean, their sights are lofty, obviously they want to get back in Europe. What's your interpretation at this stage of the season of where Forest are?
Well, they've battered well beyond where they should be. They've exceeded everything that we thought that they'd be able to do. I think there was a lot of people tipping them to go down, so when you look at where they are now, then you're talking about you're challenging. You're not even challenging to get in the top four. You're challenging to win the Premier League. Now, like Musty says, if they go on the next 5 games unbeaten, then we all sort of look around and go, think about it, they couldn't, could they? But if they close that gap tonight, then everyone will be thinking, this is the real deal. And they are a thorn in people's side. So difficult to play against. I mean, I liken them to Chelsea this year because we all thought we didn't know where Chelsea would be. Mad ownerships, both sets of teams, sporadic sort of scattergun approach within the transfer market, and we all looked at that and went, it's absolutely crazy. And now a little bit of composure, a little bit settled, and both clubs now look like they're in good places.
But I think the difference with that would be, with Chelsea, like, how are they going to shake out? I think most of us thought the Forest were going to have a difficult season.
Yeah.
I know Robbie sort of admits it many times that he had him in relegation. I said to him, well, I didn't have much higher than that. So I think Chelsea knew they were going to be kind of in the kind of top echelons, but Forest, from a relegation area to being right at the top is remarkable.
Just to get carried away for a minute, if by some miracle Nottingham Forest did win the Premier League this season, would it be a bigger story than when Leicester City did pull it off?
Well, that was a big story. I mean, that's the biggest story since we've been doing it, I think. Probably, based on the squad. I mean, I guess you have the benefit of looking back on Leicester. There's some really star players, N'Golo Kante and Jamie Vardy and Riyad Mahrez with the stars. But maybe this time next year we'll be looking back at the same thing with Forest.
The other thing you'd have to look at is where Manchester City are now and what squad they've had over the last few years and how they've fallen away. Liverpool this season and their improvement, and to go and beat those two teams, but also Arsenal, who were tipped to be favourites to win this by many this season. If they win this title this year, I think it'll be a bigger achievement because of those teams and their capabilities. I mean, we're talking about arguably the greatest Premier League team we've ever seen in Manchester City. I know they've had a poor season, but the other two teams, to go and beat them, I think it'd be bigger. Well,
let's talk about Liverpool for a minute, because they do go to the City Ground tonight, and let's be honest, you just mentioned thorn in their side. Nottingham Forest have been the only thorn in Liverpool's side in the Premier League this season. How motivated do you think they are to get the win away tonight?
Oh, massively, and they've got a point to prove from that game at Anfield where they beat them. I think there's a feeling with this Liverpool team that when teams do sit deep and they're hard to play against and then they counter-attack, Liverpool found that a little bit difficult to deal with and to break down, and I think that is something that they'll have to overcome tonight to get this victory.
What do you think they would have learned from that reverse fixture, Robbie?
Not to underestimate them. That's what they're not going to do. There's no way. I mean, this stadium, the City Ground, today or tonight over there is going to be absolutely bouncing. So they'll know they're in for the sort of game they're going to be in for. They know exactly what the tactics are going to be. They've just got to... I mean, Arne Slot's a very, very smart coach. He's just got to make sure that they attack safely, that they don't leave those spaces for Liverpool's forwards, or for Forest's forwards, sorry, to counter-attack them. But they will be confident, Cara, that they've got enough quality in this team with Mo Salah, with Diaz and with everybody else to break down this strong Forest backline.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And if you want even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.